Here we go, everyone.
Do we sound check? Are we good?
Yeah, my water's in my purse.
Oh, mine is too. We gotta have water for all the coughing and the hacking.
Because you know it will occur in the studio.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Cheers, Fran.
Here we go.
Cheers with the waters.
Cheers to the waters.
Does
Okay.
sound good? Have we sound checked?
No, but I'm
Okay.
not worried about it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rambling Through Everyday Life. Angela, we don't do this often, but we're coming in and recording the day before this releases.
Yeah.
So whatever, we're not going to date ourselves because the context is like right here, right now.
Today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. The last episode was Susie Said So, her
Yes.
special edition, We Can Do Hard Things.
Mm-hmm.
What was the episode before that?
Grace Valentine.
Grace Valentine. So it's been 2 episodes since it's just been me and you.
We haven't rambled in February.
Which means this is probably going to be a lot.
This is going to be a lot. This is going to be ridiculous and fun and funny, and we'll throw some spiritual and serious, encouraging whatever's in there too.
Oh, man.
We're here
Okay.
for all of it.
All of it, people. All of it. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Where are we starting?
Oh,
Here's the thing, too. Like, y'all know I don't ever worry. I mean, I don't ever worry about not knowing ahead of time what we're going to talk about. But I'm also, like, sitting here thinking, oh, my God, what are we about to talk about?
But you're a 7 on the Enneagram and you love the fun of it all.
Yeah.
I would be terrified if I had no control or idea where this conversation was
Well, we also know that if you said, we're going to discuss, like it was something hard, like
Uh-huh.
I'm going to know ahead of time to
of
be prepared.
course.
But because it's
Like
our,
eschatology.
yeah, right. Let's talk about the book of Ephesians.
Do not turn this off. We're not really going there
No, we're
yet.
not going there. So, so I feel good about this. Is very normal rambling.
Well, we do this every day.
This is a boxer,
This is Boxer for the for the people.
35-minute boxer, everyone.
Here we go. Sometimes we do that.
Yeah, sometimes we do
It
that.
actually cuts us off. We did learn
Yeah.
there is a limit.
Which is what? Like
It's like 12
12 minutes.
15.
Is that not insane, y'all? That it will let you talk for that long. So that means I have to listen. You have to listen.
But you can pause it.
Well,
if it
that's
becomes
true.
too much. But usually when we send each other Boxers that are that long, I'm hanging on every word. I'm like, what is about
It's
to come out of
usually
your mouth?
serious.
Mhm.
It's not typically like full comedy or just full light-heartedness. There comes a moment where it's like, hang on, this is what I'm wrestling out.
Yes.
And I need to like really explain the thing.
Not necessarily crisis, but
No.
sometimes.
Right,
Or,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So
Are y'all
here
ready?
We are.
Here we are, everybody. Angela,
Okay.
listen, and you've even brought a laptop and a stack of books.
I brought my computer
my
because
gosh.
you want to know why?
Okay.
Okay, y'all know we know what pulling an Angela means at
Yes,
this point. You know, there's
yes.
all kinds of ways that can go in the
Yes.
world of Lucy over here.
Right.
But I did not have any paper for my printer, so I couldn't print out my
Oh.
outline.
Okay.
So I just brought the whole computer.
Hey, why not, everybody?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? There are attorneys who will take a laptop and not a single sheet of paper into court, and that terrifies me.
Yeah, I like the ability to, on pages, on printed paper, you know where you are and you're able to like slip to the next piece of paper. I'm going to stay on track a whole lot better that
What
way.
if the technology just blinks
Yeah.
out, and then you're standing there going, well, Your Honor.
Or your computer goes to sleep and then you got to
Yeah.
wake it back up.
So
Okay. So here we
Okay.
are with no paper but a laptop.
Fran Thomas had a birthday on February 6th.
Sure did. You want to hear something funny about that?
I want to hear everything about that.
On Susie's episode, I referenced the fact that I had just turned 55. Hello, everyone. I've just turned 54.
You added a year.
I added a year. That was horrifying because we do go back and listen to episodes, like for different reasons we're listening to it. But I thought, I just said I turned 55. So I'd like to stand corrected and say I just turned 54. But
Well, you got a whole year of your
I got
life
a whole
back.
year back.
Do you remember the year? I think I was like 36 or 37 when Carl had me convinced that I was a year older
Yeah.
until the next birthday.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I just got a
Yeah.
whole year back.
I know. It was uneventful. I don't even remember it, Angela. It was a whole 2 weeks ago.
Well, did you feel seen and loved and celebrated?
Yes. Saying that because That day, working on a college campus on your birthday. Thank you for that reminder. Yes, I felt very seen because it was the day that the donut truck was on campus for something. And
For you. It was
yeah,
here
it
for
was
you.
for me. It was totally for me. And so, me and a coworker were walking out there to get that donut that is the size of your head.
Mm-hmm.
I ate 3/4 of it. Always eat 3/4 of it and regret it every time, but I do it every time. But we walked past the students to get our donut because we could, and a group of them saw me and they were like, "Miss Fran, happy birthday," in front of everybody. And that's a little horrifying sometimes, but college students make it all okay. And anytime I went anywhere on campus that day and people knew it was my birthday, they're not afraid. Students are not afraid to shout across a big building inside and yell at you. So they make birthdays fun. It was a fun day, yeah.
Well, it's just such a good reminder when it's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
Just, you don't have to do
Right.
anything, extravagant with dollars
Right.
or even time, but always
Right.
send a text
Yeah.
or reach out to
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
Especially the older we get.
For sure.
I still want to be acknowledged.
Oh, I deep down I do. It's sometimes uncomfortable, but deep down we all want to be seen. We've talked
Mhm.
about that a million times.
Mhm.
People want to be seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
So,
love that. Well,
HBD to me.
happy birthday.
54.
And congratulations on the year that you got back.
Yeah. I thought, why did I even say that?
Well, remember a month or two ago, I said 3 times that Kaylee was 22. She's 21. I was
Well,
like, why did I say that?
I don't know.
Math is not our thing.
I don't know.
And
It's
that's
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of math, last week we were on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Then I came back, and we'll talk about that trip in a minute. But we came back, and I'd been off work a whole week. And then that Monday, Tuesday, half a day Wednesday, I get thrown headlong into a 3-day Zoom training on Medicaid Asset Protection Trust.
Oh,
But I will say,
you loved it.
I did. I did
I'm glad
love
you loved it. I'm so glad.
And when I got to have conversations with clients about how to help them with the new things I had learned, I felt really fulfilled. And then the next day, I was back in family law court, and I hated the world.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 2 different worlds.
2 totally different worlds. And I've talked a lot on the podcast just about, turning it around after 20 years of being established as primarily a family law attorney. And then around the time my dad died, I was like, what my therapist helped me, like, what do you want to do? What do you want this to look like for you? What feels healthy and feels fulfilling? And I love helping people in that way. But if you're listening, let that give you courage to just jump headlong into the thing. I was afraid to be off for a week and then off for 3 days for this training. But I'm so glad that I did it, and I already can tell how God's going to use it because He has. It's scary for people to think about the end of their life or, how their kids will go on without them, how to set them up to not have to struggle and not have legal problems.
Right. I don't think it was you. I don't know who. Well, maybe it was. I have no idea why I would have seen this. But somebody posted, again, I don't know what I'm talking about, people. I'm not a lawyer. There's your disclaimer. But Angela's going to set the record straight. Somebody posted, I saw something somewhere on the internet about estate planning, and they said, estate planning does not mean you have to have a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Like people, even when you are saying those things, like, okay, I don't have a whole lot to leave my family, but that doesn't mean I don't have to have what I'm supposed to have. I don't even know what I'm supposed to have. You know what I'm saying?
People who have children, if you don't name who would raise your babies when you're gone, the judge will decide.
Yeah, right.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like people submitting applications and letting the judge pick when you could be the decision maker there.
Right.
Or people who are, 25, 30 years old, you're more likely to be disabled
Yeah.
than dead. You need a power of attorney saying, this person can make my medical decisions. There's just so much we don't think about.
Right.
But I love the educational part and helping
You know
people.
what? We need to do this. At some point, this would maybe be like something over the summer, but like a bonus episode of you and I talking about all these things, and I get to literally be the dumb person that doesn't know anything and
That'd
ask
be
you
fun.
questions.
Yes.
Because you do this kind of stuff on the radio or answer questions, explain things, but I could literally be the one asking you the questions or saying, Angela, I don't understand that. Explain that.
And if listeners have questions, because
Yeah.
I get messages from people
Yeah.
that listen to the podcast,
Yeah.
because anybody in the state of Tennessee, I can help you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, we'll do
anyway,
that this summer
That
sometime.
would be fun.
Oh, well. Fun.
Potentially. Let's talk about death and dying.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Let's change the subject.
Let's change the subject. So, okay, last week I was on a trip.
Yes.
And I will stand by my word. If you have an anniversary any time of the year that's not February, celebrate it in February. Our anniversary is in August, the busiest time of year. If you have kids that go back to school, we have started celebrating in February, the best decision we've ever made. I did learn something so funny when we went, and I posted a picture of this in my stories. But with us drinking all this water, we have to go to the bathroom more often. We were about to get on the Sunset Cruise, and I found out you had to pay $1 to go to the restroom.
I can't even.
And I had to take my picture with that sign because everybody that knows me was like, "You would go broke."
And that's serious. Like seriously, you have to get like
I
to
had
get
to
the
give her
key
$1.
to
No,
get.
there was not a key. We were just glared at. We had to
Oh.
walk past the girl at the counter, and
Listen,
when we came back out, we were like, "Is this
listen.
serious?"
I don't know. Maybe we appreciate the fact that we're hustling. We're making $1. Not that they're hustling in that, but you know, like, hey, make that buck.
Land of the free.
Uh,
I'm glad we don't have to do that here. But we did. We went back to see our friends that we met last year in St. Lucia, and Anisha listens to the podcast.
I know. Shout out. I think
Hello,
that's so
sweet
precious. I
Anisha,
hope
I
she
know.
listens to this.
I know.
Because
and
you love them and they're so kind and good to you all while you're there.
we just fall in love with these people, and we went back to our favorite restaurant that was on top of the mountain called The Beacon, and we walked in and they are blasting worship music, and you've got this gorgeous view in this open air
Yeah.
restaurant, and the world just feels so small.
It stops. And you know, you said like, and it just like with any trip, but I think especially when you go somewhere super relaxing like that, is you say, I'm going to bring this book and I'm going to read this and I'm going to do that, and you don't do any of it.
I
because
read nothing
and
except
that's
my
totally
Bible.
good.
Yeah, I did my daily routine.
Yeah.
But I did not. I brought the Psalms book for the
Yeah.
Bible study you've started. I brought a book that I plan to start reading soon. I was so enamored with
Rest. Yeah.
and just looking at God's creation.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to be still.
Yeah. That's good.
It's taken me
And-
47 years to learn how to
Well,
be still.
it's a very literal, healthy practice.
It is. It takes effort.
Yeah.
It takes effort.
Yeah.
We met this lady when we left the Beacon restaurant who was sitting there selling little, keychains and little trinkets, and I bought something from her, and we had a conversation, and her son, it was her birthday the next day, and that came up in conversation, and she has an only child who's in Texas studying to be an engineer,
Oh, wow.
and she misses him so much.
Oh,
But
of course.
we just had this sweet mother-to-mother conversation, and you just, again, the world is just so small when you get to know the people around you, whatever
Yeah.
that looks like. And this is kind of related, but I think I found the perfect luggage situation.
Oh,
We are not getting we need affiliate links and to be fancy
I
with
know.
all this, but
Anybody out there want to
Oh my
set that
goodness.
up for us?
but I have to tell y'all what I found, and I
Okay.
don't know if I'm saying this correctly.
Kind of like that bowl that
Here we
Carl
go
got.
again. We're gonna spell.
How,
and,
how do you? What's that bowl again? Let's talk about that one more
Last
time.
night we went to Tropical Smoothie, and Carl turned around to everybody in the car and he said, "Are y'all gonna make fun of me
Yes.
when I ordered the acai bowl?"
Acai.
And we said, "Yes, we sure are."
I get the chia oatmeal pudding bowl
I think
from
that's
there.
good.
Oh, it's delicious. It's granola, berries, bananas, chia, honey, chia
Yum.
seeds, honey. It's so good. But I laugh every time I pull up knowing I'm not ordering that bowl. But in my mind, I'm
Poor
thinking,
Carl.
how do you say that? Acai bowl, acai
Acai.
with squiggly lines. And
All
that
the
was one of the
things.
best episodes. That was literally, I don't even know what
Uh-huh.
number it was, but it was just so fun and funny.
We'll
We
have
need to be funny.
Yeah, no pressure. Hey, Fran, could you be more funny? So this bag, I think it's called Base. It's BEIS is the company name.
Did you Google it?
No,
B-E-I-S-E?
BEIS. Just BEIS. 4 letters. Base. maybe?
Beast? Be-ice.
I don't know. But last year when we went to St. Lucia, Allison Butler said that we took so many things that we didn't need in all these suitcases. And she said, we can be carry-on only people.
Yes. Yeah.
And long story short, she did. I said, "You figure out what we need, and I'll buy it. Just tell me."
If that isn't an Angela response, I don't know what is.
So she did all the research. I ordered the carry-on, the roller bag, and the mini weekender bag. And let me just tell y'all, they are perfect. The mini weekender counts as your personal item.
Yeah. You're going to take a photo of this and put this in the stories.
I will, but here's what's funny.
With a link.
So after all this research and after she helped me accomplish the perfect situation, she brought a huge check to the suitcase.
No ma'am. Allison Butler.
Half of what I packed I didn't even need. Like we truly were like t-shirt, flip-flops, one or two nice
Isn't that the truth? I love videos and memes where it's like, when you go on a trip, because you do, as a female, we want options. Because what if I don't want to wear that?
I took 6 pairs of shoes last year. 6. And more, too.
You ain't wearing 6 pairs of shoes.
No.
And it's probably the flip-flops, the most casual pair, and some tennis shoes.
I brought tennis shoes, flip-flops, and a nice pair of sandals
this
time.
No wedges are in there.
The bottom of this weekender bag, zips off and holds shoes
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
Well, and let me tell you this, and then we'll move on. I had stuffed it to the point that I had to kind of kick it to get it to go underneath the seat so it really could be my personal item. And then it got kind of wedged in there.
You get it out.
And then I went to pull on it and the strap broke.
Oh, Angela.
This bag is $100 and they sent me a replacement for free. They are a good company.
They should have.
And they did.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants the one with the bad strap, it's still functional.
I love to travel too, and I'm horrible at packing. I mean, I've used packing cubes and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just such a last minute packer, and so I overpack. I never underpack. Overpack every bag, backpack, everything, and when they call you out, ma'am, that's not a personal. That's happened to me, and I'm like, oh, you better believe it is. I will make it fit under that seat.
I had my Lulu crossbody bag, that we've talked about. I had it on, and the girl one time on one of the flights said, "Ma'am, that has to fit in this bag." I started sweating because I knew there was nowhere.
I've done that. I've had that happen before too.
I had to stick my foot in my suitcase and my sunglasses broke.
And you want to just say, it's on my person. It's not taking up any more space. Let me have it. Sometimes I just think they just want to be sticklers.
I think she was just picking on me.
I know.
Well, okay, so you did a video in stories on Instagram asking the listeners
loaded question,
what
everyone.
They want us to talk about, and we got some great, fabulous responses. So before we move on from travel,
I'm not prepared to answer
this is going to be fun. This will be easy.
Okay.
This will be easy and fun.
And this is shout out Meredith who sent that. She and I went to high school together. So anytime I see her engage with our podcast, it's very endearing to me. Shout out to you, Meredith. I see you in Arkansas. Her husband is also somebody that I look up to. Never met him in my life, but he, just the way he writes, I need to find out more about what he does, but I want to say maybe he's even taught before on the college level. I'm not sure about that, Meredith, but just a beautiful writer, author, just a really neat guy. So anyway, when I saw her DM and she sent us a good one.
She did.
I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
We're going there. And there's just something sweet when it's somebody you grew up with.
Oh, yeah.
I was at a ball game last night and saw one of the very first friends I made along with Paige Bledsoe when I was in 7th grade at Tigert Junior High School. Her name's Montricia Glenn. She sat right in front of me because my maiden name started with H. So we were together for every single class. She was 2 people down from me at a ball game last night. Have not seen her since high school.
Oh, wow.
But it's just so fun to connect with those people.
Yeah.
So Meredith, you matter to us.
Yes,
Meredith, we need some more stories on high school Fran too.
Oh, no, Meredith. No. That would be a hard no. She knows.
But before we get into Meredith, because she asked several super great questions, Ashley asked about Disney World.
Yes, because spring break's coming and you all are making those plans. If you haven't already made your plans and you know you're going to Disney, guess what? Here's your girl, Angela Snyder.
Well, let me remind y'all of this. Travel agents are free. You pay zero, and getting a certified Disney trip planner is just the most valuable thing. There's some wonderful ones that listen to this podcast, so I won't start shouting all of them out because I'll miss somebody. Also, just real quick, touring plans website, and a podcast that I love is WDW Prep to Go. That's the name of it. Those two, that website and that podcast, I have learned so much information. And then the other thing I'll say is rope drop, which means you get there like 10 or 15 minutes before the park actually opens. You're the first ones in. You're leaving midday to take your nap and swim when everybody else is stumbling in and they're starting to have meltdowns and fall apart because they don't have a plan. My husband has become a believer in having a plan. He used to like to sleep in. Now he's the first one out the door. You knock it all out with little to no waiting. And you go have a magical afternoon.
Yeah.
Nobody cusses anybody. It's great.
Listen, Disney's stressful.
It can be.
Well, because it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
you have to have a plan. Like, what parks are we going to go to? Can we afford to go to? Where do we stay? All of that.
You can't just show
Food
up and wander
costs
around.
$1 million. You know, it's just overwhelming.
You have to be strategic. So, anyway, if anybody needs more detailed information, let us know.
Okay.
We can help you. Okay, Meredith. And these fabulous questions. I think this is so fun.
Okay.
This is good stuff.
Are they like fire off kind of questions?
Sure.
Or are we going to discuss?
Yes. They're
Yes and yes.
Yes and all of it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. How do you relax, Fran? And if you need a minute to think about
it depends on the type of, it depends. I have two methods of relaxing.
This is good. So let's talk about relaxing.
Relaxing. I think that for me, a lot of times relaxing can be, we've talked about this before, it can be going for a walk because I need to actively rest and relax. And so if I've been super busy and overwhelmed and my brain is just absolutely fried, then a lot of times I'll just get out and go for a 15-minute walk. I did that last week at work. I was like, I'm feeling a little stressed. And I just went out and went for a walk. But also, I'm like a lot of you all, I don't know if this is relaxing or avoiding, but it can be relaxing in that I just go watch something on Netflix or, you know, whatever, because I just need to like shut down and not think really hard. In a perfect world, I would like to say that I would also read. I did pick up a book that Becca Holloway gave me recently. It's called Wild and Free by Jess Connolly and somebody else.
I've heard of that.
That's really good, but I choose to read at the wrong time of the day because at night I'm super tired and I need to read. But then you're like, but I work during the day. Like I need to build that in.
Maybe you need a 10-minute reading break.
I need a 10-minute read break because there's so much that wakes your brain up when you read something really good. It's like it does like all the creative juices start flowing again. But I wish I could say like, oh, I love to cook. Oh, I love to bake. Oh, I love to crochet, Angela.
Let's keep it real. Well, let's not get into that yet.
Okay.
I have a crochet coach now.
Yeah, you do. It ain't me.
Coach Nate with volleyball is going to help me because my YouTube tutorials just are not cutting the mustard.
But I think that's a fun, like, I love to know how people relax. Like, you know, if it's the right time of year, you might, you know, work out in the yard. That's kind of that active rest and relaxation. Like Chip loves to do that, be outside and work in the yard and do things like that. But this time of year, it's kind of like,
yeah. I think, and I wonder this for you too, is part of what relaxes you getting away from people for a minute?
No, for sure.
Because we love people.
Yeah, but they can just drain you. We talked about that with the volleyball girls this week. If I look at a day and I know that there's so much demand of me in different ways, and you're the exact same way. I mean, people are needing us, asking us questions all the time, face to face, emails, whatever. And if that's going to be, if I can look at that day and go, oh my gosh, I don't want to just endure it. I need to step away and sometimes just shut my door or whatever, go outside for that quick walk because I got to take a break from the people.
Well, and Jesus modeled that for us.
Yes, he did.
He withdrew to
So
the
glad.
lonely places. So
Yes.
it's scriptural.
Yeah.
It's good. I try to at least 2 or 3 times a month, if I can, go get a massage.
Yeah, you're good about that.
I had another attorney tell me a few years ago, you figure out something, massage, getting your nails done, just one little whatever, and make it a super important appointment with yourself on your calendar, just like anything else that people require of you. And I I think just being at home too can be such a luxury.
Gosh,
I just like to be at home.
Yes, I love to be at home because our days and nights can go long.
Yeah.
And so when I can be home, I'm like, oh, nobody talked to me, nobody messed with me. I'm taking a big nap.
And you love Pure Barre. I love my workout, but yesterday, and I had taken a couple of rest days, and yesterday I needed to jump back in, and Carl said, "What if you just take a nap instead? Let's go take a nap." It was just a lazy afternoon, and I thought, you know what? I've done nothing today but get a massage and come back home, and I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, because you work hard. We are busy people during the week.
We are.
And I think it's fair and fun for you to decide what's relaxing for you, and don't compare it to somebody else, and don't feel like you're being judged.
That's right.
Just do it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Meredith, another great question. What shows are you watching?
Oh, man. I'm not going to tell you what show I'm watching because I don't recommend it, even though I'm continuing to watch it.
Well, what else is out there?
It's like it's 3 seasons, apparently, this show on Netflix. And I got wrapped up in it, and then I have to figure out how it ends. And so
You're invested.
I'm invested, but it's called Dead to Me. It's on Netflix.
I've seen that.
Dead
but
to
I
Me.
don't know. Okay.
And so it's just got this, that one cuss word that starts with an F, like in Fran. It's constant, and it gets on my last nerve. And usually I can, things like that, I can roll with it. I'm not super offended by, I'm just not. But anyway, it's a lot of a show. But now I've got to figure out how it ends. So anyway, there's your warning if you decide to watch Dead to Me. That's what I'm currently watching.
We both got into American Idol last year.
Yeah, it starts back.
It's coming back.
That's what Dylan, my son, told me that. I love some American Idol.
I do too. And then something that I
Katy Perry's leaving.
Really?
I heard that. Now, I don't know if that's in the middle of like this season or after this season.
Well,
I know.
Breaking news.
Remember when Paula Abdul was a judge?
I miss her. And Simon.
and
Randy.
Randy Jackson.
Oh, the OG.
The OG, yeah.
American Idol. I have not finished and want to go back, and this will redeem the things that we've just talked about, because this is a good holy show. You ready? We're going to redeem it all.
I was just trying to give a warning. Because I'm bad about
this is not from a place of judgment.
Okay.
But have you watched The Chosen?
Oh, we're going to go from what I just said to The Chosen.
Because I watch a lot of dumb things too. So I feel like it's Lent season. I feel like The Chosen needs to be in my repertoire of shows.
That's what I need to be watching. I think is there like a new season out?
I think so. I got somewhere in season 1, and for whatever reason just
quit.
And I want to go start it all over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got through season 2, and then I think they're in season 4 right now.
We'll watch that.
Yeah,
Fran.
we need. That's exactly what I need to be absorbing instead of Dead to Me on Netflix.
Balance everything in moderation.
Well, I'm pretty sure the last time I went on and on that snow week about how I watched 2,000 episodes of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I don't know if y'all want me as a source of.
I'm caught up on Beverly Hills. That's the only Housewives that I'm really invested in. But yeah. I've started watching Young Sheldon.
That's Dylan's favorite.
It's such a cute
show. I hear him laughing out loud from across the house, and I know good and well what he's watching.
I love that, and I love the show Mom.
Never seen it.
It is.
Is it on regular TV, like on cable, or are you watching it on Netflix or streaming?
I don't even know what it's. We have YouTube TV, and I don't even know where it's coming from. But they're all in Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's actresses I can't think of their names off the top of my head. But it's a comedy.
Okay.
But it also helps me because I'm in this Adult Children of Alcoholics group that's a spinoff of Al-Anon. So a lot of the going to meetings and the healthy recovery and working the steps. It's just hitting some kind of sweet spot for me, but it's also a funny show.
Right, it's not super all serious. No. It's got the humor is what you need.
So Mom, at night I'll watch Mom or Reba or Friends or just something, like a comfort show. Yeah. So check out Mom if you haven't yet.
I also, I don't know what you just said that made me think about this, but I got this notification from Audible that said, well, I need y'all to also know It's February the 18th, and I'm pretty sure I said on an episode that I wanted to read a book a month. Well, so Wild and Free that I just started.
Yeah.
I got a whole 11 days to get that sucker finished if I'm going to read a book a month. But Audible,
you're reading. It's kind of like a Bible reading plan.
Okay.
When we say, as long as you're reading the
Okay.
Bible, you're
Okay.
making your healthy steps forward.
So Audible sends me a notification that says, use your credits before they expire. I'm pretty sure they never expire because I don't think they do, but I may be wrong. So I go into Audible and download all these books knowing good and well I'm probably not going to ever listen to them because I'm not an Audible fan. I get very distracted. And
Even when you're walking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think on a trip when I'm in the car for a long period of time, I can because you're just kind of looking at the road. But my mind starts to wander really, really big. And so anyway, I just thought that was funny. Knowing good and well, yes, download.
What did you download?
I don't even know, Angela.
Well,
I don't know.
Continued. We need to know.
Yeah.
We need to know. Something else that, well, that's in the next question. Never mind. We talked about how you can relax.
Meredith, give us another
Speaking
question.
of my mind jumping around, here we go. What we're watching. Okay, what's bringing you joy right now?
What's bringing me joy, even though it is only still February, I think like a lot of the country, we are having a very mild winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either raining or the temperatures are in like the 50s and 60s. So like today, the sun is out. It's going to be in the 50s. Every day is a nice day. I'm like, bring it on, spring.
Don't you think as long as the sun is out, I
Yes.
can handle just about any
Yes.
temperature?
Yes.
I pulled up to
Except for
court.
this morning was
Yeah,
20-something
It
when
was
I went to
frigid.
church. I was like, no.
yeah, that's true. But I went to court last Thursday, and we had about 15 or 20 minutes before it started. And the other attorney was standing, and he loves to go to Florida. He's such a cool guy. But he was standing just in front of the courthouse with his arms straight out, almost like a zombie, and his head faced up toward the sun. And I said, you look like you're sunning yourself like a turtle.
I
And he
am.
said, that's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm doing. So you know what I did? I stood next to him and did the same exact thing.
Mm.
So the two of us just stood there basking in the sunlight until
Yes.
it was like little kids having
Yeah.
to go to class.
Yes.
We were like, okay, the judge is coming in 3 minutes. We have to go in now. But it made me so happy. And then the next day I had a mediation. And instead of leaving them stuck in a conference room, I said, look, when I'm in the other room, you can go outside, get fresh air. And we wound up negotiating half of their parenting plan in the parking lot in the
Oh.
sun because nobody wanted to come inside.
As you should.
And I was like, why be inside?
Yeah.
Let's sit out here and do this on the truck bed. We're good.
I also, I brought a student over to my house one day last week, and we ended up having lunch sitting outside on my back patio. And if you follow me on my personal Instagram, not this time of year, but a lot of the time, I'll post a picture of my backyard because the cows are back there. And the cows were not there when she and I were having lunch, but the next morning they were.
Oh.
And there are so many babies.
I was going to ask you if they had babies.
Yes,
yet.
they've all been born, and so that brings me joy because it's just this cycle of life, and you get to see that. And I don't consider the other because there's always cows. They're always there. I'm not mindful or paying attention because they're not personally my own. So I don't know who's coming and going, especially on the going. But it was just like, oh, this time of year, because they're not up, they tend to stay in a certain part of their land. So it was just fun to see them out. And I was like,
The cows
look at
are coming.
the cows are coming, and they were romping and jumping and playing, and they're just so innocent and precious.
I love it when you
brings me joy.
post the cows and
Precious.
when your dogs
They're
are
so dumb.
trying to play with
Everybody's
the cows.
dumb back there. The cows are dumb, the dogs are dumb, everybody's dumb.
Well, my stomach is growling, so that reminded me of something else that's bringing me joy right now.
Cooking?
No. Kind of, maybe.
Eating.
But yeah, eating. So Mallory Lamb came on the podcast.
Yeah, we've had her on a couple of times.
A couple of times.
She's our therapist.
Yes, and I had her talk to the volleyball team. We did a great Zoom with her.
Mm-hmm.
Just about, and this hits home more for our generation, but we grew up in this diet culture. Remember Snackwells, remember Jane Fonda, remember like starve yourself and do all the cardio. And
What was a Snackwell?
those little cookies that were fat free.
Oh, yeah.
That tasted good, and then they made your stomach fall
I
apart.
forgot about that. Yeah.
So Mallory really helped me see some disordered thinking about food. And then Rachel Mitchell, who's been on multiple times, has been my coach for, 7 years through Beachbody, just doing workout programs and accountability. And we read scripture and work into God's word and then work out as a group and, post our sweaty selfies so we know that we've done our workout. But one thing that I've learned that I love at the age that I am is I can lift heavier weights than I thought. And I need to be eating around 2,000 calories a day, and it feels like sweet freedom.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm eating more. My body is loving it. I feel so strong. I am done with all this. Well, I've got to starve myself. And
I need to know what high schools are teaching about, especially for girls, because it's not just a physical, it's a mental component.
It is.
To, I mean, boys too, but I'm not a boy, so I can only speak about girls. But I don't know if high schools are teaching proper nutrition, body image stuff.
I will say this. I think on some level it's improving. At least I hope I'm
But
right.
social media just kills anything.
Social
you've
media
learned,
makes
so.
it hard. But my daughter and her friends have a healthier mindset than I did at that age.
That's good.
In a way that I appreciate. Just the general. Now there are also, there's good and bad, and
Right.
it's not perfect, but I think some of the stuff that in that diet culture world that we saw and heard our moms talk about, and just all the, I hope I'm right that it's improving.
Well, I think it's always going to be a struggle because the culture and society says one thing. I mean, we're not talking specifically about this, but just aging in general, just body image, aging, how you're supposed to look. Comparison, like that's still very real.
Well, that's a great segue to Meredith's next
Okay, what do you want to know, Meredith?
What exhausts you?
Oh, life, people? No.
Comparison. I know an answer for this because this absolutely exhausts me, and I've complained about it 4 times this week.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Yes.
Inefficiency.
Oh, listen.
Do not waste my time
I
with
can't stand
meetings with zero purpose. Do not say, call me when you get a minute. Makes me lose my mind because I feel like I've already failed you because I'm going to forget to call you when I get a minute.
Right.
Or just having a meeting and going around in a big circle, and an hour later we all dismiss, and it's like, what just happened? And do you know what else I could have been doing during that 60 minutes?
I think there's some leadership book about meetings, and I can't think of it right now because I haven't read it, but I think that people just do them because it makes you feel important.
Or like you've checked it off the list.
Yes,
we should meet.
Yes.
Well, why are we meeting?
Well, maybe we just need to have an email exchange or I don't know, but I have sat in a lot of meetings over the course of my years, my adult years, but especially now as we just live in a very fast-paced world where there's just so much demand on everybody and everything. I think that if we're going to have a meeting, you better not waste my time, and I better feel encouraged. I better feel informed, and I know what I'm supposed to do next.
Give me an action step.
Give me an action step every time. But if it's just informing me of things, okay, then send me an email. Let's meet every other month.
Or a social. If you leave there going, well, they just wanted to look at everybody and say hi.
Yeah, and say
I appreciate that.
And say that you had a meeting.
Right.
And I have to, like the person conducting the meeting, do you even know what you're trying to accomplish? And did you do that? Other than here's our agenda of things that we're just going to touch on. But if there's no real discussion or it's just strictly informative, oh my gosh, I will run and jump off a cliff. I can't stand inefficiency on so many levels.
We got pretty worked up.
I did get pretty worked up. I'm so sorry, y'all. We're running out of time. What else?
That's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Your favorite go-to meal?
Oh man, there's two totally different meals. I love Mexican. That we had that last night, and it's so good. It's always my favorite. It's very comforting. It's like my new comfort food. I love Mexican. I think because you get to sit with the chip and the dip
Do you know what I have discovered at Los Portales, which is our local Mexican restaurant? My husband ordered this. Here we go again, picking on Carl, but this is good. He ordered this, and I was like, why would you get that here? Like,
Chicken
what even
tenders
is that?
And fries?
A California bowl.
Oh, I didn't
It
know
does
that was
not
on the
say,
menu.
well, who did,
Yeah.
right? But it's got cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, and you can do fiesta, you can do
Yeah.
shrimp, chicken, and steak, and it's over rice with cheese sauce.
Yeah,
But the way they grill these vegetables, I do not even like cauliflower,
but it's so
and I
good.
clean my plate.
Well, I may try that next time. 'Cause that does
California
sound good.
bowl. Mm-hmm.
Do you have chips and dip with?
Absolutely, and guacamole
And
for the
guacamole.
healthy fats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mexican, but then on the other side of that, not even related, is I love sushi.
Yes.
And so I give me a Mexican roll, whatever your place calls it, every time. And I'm going to be like, yeah, watch me eat the whole thing, and I will.
I have two new, that I've added to this list. One I have every morning now for my pre-workout meal, and it's just, you won't like part of this, but it's a rice cake with peanut butter and banana. I know you hate bananas.
Rice cakes are just interesting to me because I don't think they're anything.
Well, it's just enough. I can't eat much in the morning, but I need a little something for energy. So I just smear it with peanut butter and a sliced banana.
I'm
And
okay with that.
I crave it. When I was gone last week, I craved it because I couldn't find rice cakes in St. Lucia. Yeah. But the other thing I love that I think is just underrated, I forget about it, is an actual made at home hamburger.
Oh, always good.
We are having those tonight because I got that stuck in my mind, and that's all I can think about. So I'm making myself a hamburger with some crispy lettuce and some pickles.
Yeah. Let me tell y'all, the best, if you're local in Jackson, Tennessee, Angela, you test me on this, and I guarantee you'll come back and say that's the best burger in town. On campus, we have, it's called the Lex. They have Bob's Burgers are served in our little grill. And Bob's Burgers was a local place that burned, and so we brought in Bob and his burgers. It is literally the best burger you will ever put in your mouth. I got one last week because I was starving to death and I missed lunch, and it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And when I'm starving like that, I want a burger and fries every time. The worst thing to possibly ever eat.
And a bubbly Coke.
Oh my gosh, that burger. Oh, test me on it, Angela. Come up here.
I'm ready. Listen, my stomach's been growling since we hit record.
It's so good, y'all.
Okay, we've kind of touched on this, but she also asked, what are you reading? And I actually brought my little stack of books.
Well,
So
I didn't bring
ahead.
mine, but what I've already forgot, Wild and Free by Jess Connolly and some other girl.
And your Psalms Bible study.
Psalms Bible study, we're working through that. Let me tell you, if you have not done a Bible study in a while, I highly recommend this. I think it's just called the Psalms by Ray Ortland. It is so life-giving, refreshing. It's not hard. There's only 2 days of homework involved. It's just beautiful. I love, love, love it. Highly recommend it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have Sarah Roberts had recommended for Lent, and now we're in Lent. I'm holding this up if you're watching on YouTube. 40 Days of Decrease by Alicia Britt Cole. We're on day, 5 of Lent. I've not opened it yet, but it's on my radar, so working on that. The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers. She wrote Redeeming Love that I love so much.
Book.
This is a huge book. I hauled this book to St. Lucia and back and never opened it, but it has come highly recommended as fiction that is, I don't know if you call it Christian fiction, but you can trust that it's wholesome and the opposite of the things Fran and I watch on TV. And then the other book I got, and I'm just in this season of wanting to be the best I can at mediations and estate planning and things. I got this book that will make me a better mediator, I believe, from a former FBI hostage negotiator.
Listen, I want to hear about this. You're going to have to give us snippets.
His name is Chris Voss. It's called Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as if your life depended on it.
Well.
So if you ever just need to negotiate anything from a car deal to a hostage situation, there you go.
Yeah.
He's your guy.
Yeah,
so,
I love it.
Anyway, okay, final question from Meredith, and this is fun. Because it's about fun. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? That's a super great question. I think fun is interesting the older you get. I don't I don't know. Fun is just spending time with my family, doing something that's not normal, I guess. Like Clay and I, our oldest, he and I are supposed to try to go to a Grizzlies game this Friday night together, and That'll be fun. So fun just looks different. It's not like, oh, that's fun, like that one thing. I think it just depends on the week and what season you're in, but it's very important to consider what's life-giving, what's fun. Because sometimes fun is just, it's a beautiful day and I got to go for a walk outside.
And I've said this before, I think at the first of the year when we talked about calendars, but I truly sit down with my calendar and say, okay, what is my fun, whatever, for the month of April, May, June? And I'm not talking big expensive trips, but just creating a memory, doing something, if it's just taking off half a day and doing something or just big or small or whatever.
Day by yourself. You're like, I want to go spend the day in Memphis by myself and just go shop and look around and do what I want to do when I want to do it.
And trip planning for me is like the equivalent of taking that trip like 18 different times in advance, because in my mind I'm going through all of the I'm married to the person who does not want to know about it until the day before.
I'd be that way too. I'm like, just tell me what to do and thank you for all the prep work you did.
Okay, so this is, speaking of family and memories, that this may be somewhere good to kind of wrap this all up, but I saw this on Facebook and it was so good and I thought it was worth sharing. It's one tiny habit that we can all do, and some of y'all may be doing this already, but Brene Brown taught this, and the person that posted said, I still do this every single day. When you get home every day, to your spouse or your kids or your dog, or even just for yourself, for your own good, before you open that door, put a smile on your face. Doesn't matter how your day went, what you're doing next, if you're starving, no matter what, walk in that door happy, elated to see whoever is there, elated to just be home and have that time with yourself and the Lord if you live by yourself. But that really does set the tone as you walk into the door for having that peace and that rest. And all the things we do outside the home are such a grind on all of us, but we are in control of coming home and what that looks like. And when we fix what it looks like for us to come home and be grateful for what God has given us there, a roof over our heads and electricity and just a space to relax and unwind, that is the key to having an extraordinary life.
Well, I'll take it a step further and add to that and say, I just think in general, whenever you step into space, whether that is that dreaded meeting or that wonderful meeting or lunch with people or whatever, that you consider what you're bringing into that space, because I'm very sensitive to, just because the Lord personally did a work in my life about not stepping into space where you say, oh my gosh, I'm so this, that, or the other.
I'm so busy. I'm so stressed.
Busy.
I'm so tired.
Like, oh my God, like not bring the drama in to that setting, that space, because it's just not helpful. It's not helpful. There's a place to like address those things and have those conversations. But if that's what you become known for, people don't want to be around you.
Don't be a negative Nelly.
No, don't be negative Nelly. Okay, this was fun.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks, Meredith.
Meredith, you're the best.
I know. Send us all the questions all the time. That's fun. Y'all were a lot of fun to talk about all this with. Okay, thanks for listening. And guess what? Next week's episode,
the opposite of this ridiculous rambling. It will be focused and purposeful.
And you will learn things. We won't share who our guest is, but we're super excited about that.
One of our favorite people.
Yes. All right, everybody. We love you so, so much. Angela, guess what? We forgot to say, if you want us to come speak at your church, your organization, your gathering, your whatever, we would love to do that, because we love to encourage people.
And love to see your faces and interact with you other than through the social media and the podcast.
So if you've got something coming up this spring, summer, or fall, we would love, love, love to serve you in that way. Okay, everybody, have a super great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. You're awesome.